Good evening. I'd like to call to order the December 12th, 2024 regular meeting of the Park Board of Commissioners. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Bridget, or Monica, can we have a roll call, please? Sorry.
President Gibson.
Here.
Vice President Ruffing.
Here.
Commissioner Ansier.
Here.
Commissioner Jacks.
Here.
Commissioner Janner.
Here.
Commissioner Risvold.
Here.
Commissioner Thompson.
Here.
Thank you. I will now entertain a motion to open the public hearing on the 2025 Budget and Appropriation Ordinance 1067.
Move to open the public hearing for discussion on the 2025 Budget and Appropriation Ordinance 1067.
Second.
Voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. A quorum being present, I will now call to order the public hearing on the 2025 Combined Annual Budget and Appropriation Ordinance. The budget was prepared in tentative form and made available to the public for inspection for at least 30 days at Fort Hill Activity Center and on the district's website. A notice of this budget hearing was published in the Daily Herald on November 25th, 2024, in accordance with the requirements of the Park District Code, and a notice in compliance with the Open Meetings Act was also prepared and distributed in accordance with all legal requirements. The purpose of the hearing is to give the public an opportunity to be heard with regard to the planned budget and appropriations for the coming fiscal year. Once public comments have been received, the board may immediately comment or reserve its comments to when the ordinance is formally presented for board consideration. Hearing is now open for comments from the audience. Do we have any public comments? Comments at this time? Okay. I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing on the 2025 budget and return to the regular business of the meeting.
Move to close the public hearing and return to the regular meeting.
Second.
It's voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next, we will move on to the 2024 Eagle Scout recognition. Yeah, if the Scouts want to come up to the podium. Maybe if we kind of stand here that way, the audience or everyone at home can see it as well. Do you want to come over here so that way anybody watching at home can see and hear? All right. Well, thank you. I'm pleased to have the opportunity this evening to recognize some excellent work that's been accomplished across the Park District by several Eagle Scouts this year. Through their commitment to scouting and serving their community, the individuals we are honoring developed essential leadership skills while networking with others and making lifelong connections. Naperville Park District is grateful to the many Scouts over the years who've chosen to complete their Eagle Scout projects with us. Every project begins with a vetting process, and each Scout learning what the district may need and presenting their ideas to our staff for consideration. It's important to note that the projects being highlighted here demonstrate both the variety and high-quality improvements made to our parks. The images on the screen illustrate various projects completed by Eagle Scouts in 2024. Tonight, we are recognizing each of these Scouts with a certificate of appreciation. All right, so I will call the names as Vice President Ruffing hands you your certificate, and we showcase your work up here. So first we have Brandon Kenny. Brandon built and installed a bench at Heritage Woods. You want to make sure. Gabe Vishner built a new flower bed that encompasses the sign at Wildflower Park. And if anybody has seen the flowers by the sign at Wildflower Park, it's really beautiful. Not this time of year, but normally. Natalie Dawes. Natalie built and installed 5 duck boxes at Maywatts Park, Hobson West Ponds, and Sportsman Park. And Lillian Jaglin. Lillian filled over 30 bags with garlic mustard and vines from Hunter Woods. And for those who don't know, garlic mustard is invasive, so we really appreciate getting those out of our parks. And there was a Scout who couldn't join us tonight, but we'd also like to recognize Libby High, who created and installed a communication board at Wolf's Crossing Community Park. So thank you all for your work and choosing the Park District to dedicate your time and services and talents too. We really appreciate it. Thank you on a job well done on behalf of the Park Board and staff. We really appreciate what you've done to improve our community, and we wish you all the best in your futures. All right, thank you. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Next, we'll move on to matters from the public. Monica, do we have anybody signed up to speak?
We do not.
Okay. We will move on to updates and reports. I will start with the Riverwalk Commission. Riverwalk Commission met yesterday for our last meeting of 2024. We discussed progress of the 2031 Riverwalk Master Plan and the work that will be done on the Eagle Street Gateway and the South Extension. We also discussed the Stream Bank Stabilization Project that began a couple weeks ago. I know it's been pretty cold out, so pedestrian traffic along the Riverwalk has been a little less than normal, but if anybody has been out at the Riverwalk over the last couple weeks, they've noticed it looks pretty different. So I want to give some background on the project. DuPage County has witnessed an increase in size, frequency, and intensity of storms in recent years. And in Naperville, what that means is that these storms bring large surges of water rushing down the west branch of the DuPage River into the downtown area that have eroded the banks along the Riverwalk, steepening the slope between the Riverwalk and the DuPage River. As part of our commitment to environmental stewardship, as well as our commitment to ensuring that the Naperville Riverwalk is maintained at the highest level and preserved for generations to come, we've partnered with the DuPage County Stormwater Management Department and its contractors to stabilize the banks of the west branch of the DuPage River along the Riverwalk. Stabilization methods will include installing stone breaks to deflect water from hitting the shoreline, planting native vegetation, and in some areas, a combination of stone treatment and planting native seeds will be used. The removal of invasive and declining trees was required to be completed first and was limited to those in the way of construction, trees that are classified as invasive species, or trees that were declining and dead. All trees in the project area were evaluated both by Park District horticultural staff and 2 outside certified arborists to determine the health and viability of the trees. During the evaluation, a drone was used to inspect hollow cavities in 2 mature cottonwoods. Unfortunately, due to the structural integrity of the cottonwoods, the trees needed to be removed for safety of the Riverwalk visitors. While we know that the area looks pretty bare right now, in spring 2025, we'll be planting trees, shrubs, and perennials that will help stabilize the shoreline, improve water quality, help with flooding, provide vital habitat for fish and wildlife. The next Riverwalk Commission meeting will take place on January 8th, 2025 at 7:30 a.m. in the Naperville Municipal Center. All right. Next up is Finance Committee.
No real report, but I have to take a moment and recognize our outgoing board treasurer and finance director, Sue Stanish, for just everything. There's no words can describe how much we are. I'm sure I can speak on behalf of everyone to say how grateful we are of everything that you've done. You are going to be very, very missed, and I can't thank you enough. And I wish you just the very best in your retirement.
All right. Legislative Committee.
No report.
Okay. Parks and Rec Committee.
No report.
Okay. Back to me. All right. As Vice President Ruffing mentioned, tonight's bittersweet because it's our last board meeting with our Director of Finance, Sue Stanish, who will be retiring this month after 14 years at the district. Sue is one of the members of our Park District team that many in our community might not know. Unlike our fitness instructors or camp counselors, the work Sue does is mostly behind the scenes. But it's integral to our success as a Park District. And our community owes Sue a debt of gratitude for the dedication and expertise she's given us over the past 14 years. During her tenure, Sue has helped to successfully navigate numerous financial scenarios, including budgets, bond issues, audits, software changes, and large-scale capital projects, most notably Fort Hill Activity Center, Knock Knolls Nature Center, renovations of Centennial Beach, the implementation of large community parks, like 95th Street Plaza and Wolf's Crossing, all huge projects that benefit our community immensely. Through it all, Sue was instrumental in maintaining the district's AAA bond rating, which highlights the Naperville Park District's continued financial strength and stability. As a member of the leadership team, Sue worked with supervisors and managers at all levels across the organization to help improve operations and assist with overcoming challenges. Beyond her day-to-day workload, Sue found time to serve as a member of the Illinois Government Finance Officers Association, where she served as past president of the executive board. And Sue also served as an executive board member of the Illinois Metropolitan Investment Fund and as an executive board trustee of the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund. Her knowledge, approachability, sense of humor, and creativity in working towards solutions as a member of the larger Naperville Park District team are characteristics that made her successful in her role. While I cannot sum up everything Sue has done for our community in the brief amount of time I have tonight, I'd be remiss if I didn't especially thank Sue for being a great resource for the board. She has consistently provided timely and thorough financial information to assist us in making informed decisions that are necessary for the Park District to provide the essential parks and recreation services that our community relies on. I can tell you that her patience with us, at least me, has been limitless, as we've asked all kinds of questions, explored every budget and tax scenario to ensure that we're being responsible stewards of our community's tax dollars, and that we levy the smallest amount possible to maintain what we have and meet our community's needs. So on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and the whole Naperville community, I want to thank you for the work you've done for us, Susan. While we'll miss Sue, her contributions to the Park District and our community will remain for years to come. I know that you're going to love retirement, so best of luck and thank you. And there's more. As we mark Director Stanish's last meeting at the Park Board, we're also marking the last meeting of 2024. In many ways, we're wrapping this year up the same way we wrapped up 23, by closing out another year of record-setting participation. 2024 has shown us, once again, the essential role the Naperville Park District plays in supporting the people of Naperville. Beyond record-setting levels of participation, this year we also wrapped up our indoor space needs assessment. The amount of residents who engaged with us for this project and the amount of feedback we received shows that our community values the role we play in our city. In fact, an overwhelming majority of people who engaged with us through the assessment identified areas of service that they would like to see us expand. These trends and the feedback we've received mirror what we see across the country. The impact of a well-run, well-maintained parks and recreation district has ripple effects far beyond providing a place to play or a class to take. Economically, investment in our parks and recreation programs improves our home values. Our parks and facilities host events, tournaments, and festivals that draw visitors from outside the city and generate significant economic activity for our local businesses. And our Park District partners with local businesses to help increase their visibility in the community. We are at the front line of environmental sustainability efforts. The work we do reduces flooding risks, improves air and water quality, and protects natural habitats, all of which contribute to long-term savings and resiliency against environmental challenges. Our parks, facilities, and programs are accessible and affordable, ensuring that all members of our community have the tools they need to live an active, healthy lifestyle. The health benefits, both physically and mentally, of an active lifestyle reduce healthcare costs, both for individuals, employers, and the whole community. Access to green spaces has been linked to lower stress and improved mental health, fostering a healthier, more productive community. And finally, to wrap up this nowhere near exhaustive list of ways a strong Parks and Recreation Department and District benefits our city, the Naperville Park District builds community. Our parks, facilities, programs, and events are places where everyone is welcome, regardless of age, race, gender, socioeconomic status, background, or ability. Our parks and programs foster belonging and fight loneliness. I think we would be hard-pressed to find someone in Naperville, from the youngest among us to the oldest, who can't name at least one friend they've made thanks to a Park District park or program. The Park District makes our lives better and our community a more desirable place to live, work, and play. And none of these benefits are self-actualizing. They rely on support from the community to fund the Park District, and they rely on the time and effort of our staff, whose dedication to our community is unparalleled. So on behalf of the Park Board and our community, I want to thank the approximately 850 full-time, part-time, and seasonal staff members who've worked for the Park District in 2024 and given their time and talent to help Naperville build healthy lives, healthy minds, and a healthy community. And on behalf of the Park Board, I'd like to thank the people of Naperville for a wonderful 2024. We're looking forward to the year ahead as we continue to provide and promote high-quality experiences and facilities at a great value to the community. Thank you, and we will move on to Executive Director Wilson's report.
Thank you, President Gibson. The first is the 2025 Winter Program Guide is now available on the Park District's website, and winter program registration is in progress. View the digital program guide and register for a variety of programs, including winter break camps, spring Naperville Youth Soccer and Premier Soccer, and Naperville Youth Basketball, and much more. Tickets for Magical Starlight Theater's production of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella are now on sale for the upcoming January performances at the Naperville Central High School Auditorium. Tickets may be purchased online or in person. Pre-sale tickets are $20 if purchased before Friday, January 10th. Afterward, tickets will be sold for $23 each at the door. Weather permitting, the Naperville Park District offers outdoor ice skating and sledding during the winter months. Sled hills will open when there is at least 2 inches of snow covering the ground. Skate rinks require several days of consistently freezing temperatures to initiate and sustain the ice. The Park District posts red or green flags at each skating rink location to indicate whether they are open or closed. Ice rink status can be found online at the Park District's Cancellations and Closures tab on the Park District's website, in addition to a list of sled hill and ice rink locations. The 2025 Community Job Fair, co-hosted with Kids Matter, is set for Saturday, January 4th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Fort Hill Activity Center. This free event is for job seekers of any age, including high school and college-age students and adults. It's a great opportunity to learn about job openings at the Park District and with Naperville area businesses while making helpful connections. Additionally, attendees can improve their professional skills at the event's Career Center by participating in mock interviews and having their resume reviewed. And lastly, I would also like to thank Sue Stanish for all that she has done for the Naperville Park District and the community. She is a valued member of the district's leadership team and the Park District's overall team. And as President Gibson highlighted, she has been instrumental in helping to lead the organization through numerous large-scale projects and several operational improvements and challenges. Congratulations, Sue, on your upcoming retirement. We wish you the very best, and you will be missed. And as Sue departs the district, we look forward to welcoming Tricia Dubio as the next Director of Finance. Tricia will join us from the Bolingbrook Park District, where she has served as the Superintendent of Business and Finance since 2011. Tricia will start with us later this month, and her appointment as the district's treasurer is included on tonight's agenda. That's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Executive Director Wilson. Next, we'll move on to the Treasurer's Report.
Move to approve the October 2024 Treasurer's Report.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Vice President Ruffing?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ansier?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Janner?
Yes.
Commissioner Risvold?
Yes.
President Gibson.
Yes, thank you. Can we, Monica, would you please read the consent agenda?
Item 7.1, approved November 2024 disbursements in the amount of $2,453,435.97. 7.2, approved November 2024 disbursements made through the Bank of America Purchasing Car Program in the amount of $306,086.36. 7.3, approved November FinTech disbursements in the amount of $2,999.90. 7.4, approve November 2024 customer refunds in the amount of $2,593.25. 7.5, approve November 14th, 2024 regular meeting minutes. 7.6, approve November 14th, 2024 executive session closed meeting minutes. 7.7, authorize the executive director to issue a purchase order to Easy Go golf cars in the amount of $635,893.80 for 60 2025 Easy Go RXV Elite electric golf cars with the PACE 10EX GPS information and golf car control system for Springbrook Golf Course, procured through the district's membership in the Omnia Partners Purchasing Network. 7.8, award the contract for the Naperbrook and Springbrook Clubhouse Restroom Renovations Project to Robe Construction, Inc. in the amount of $124,428.98, and to authorize staff to carry a further 5% contingency for a total authorized expenditure for the project in an amount not to exceed $130,650.43. 7.9, award the professional services contract to update the Naperville Park District's ADA transition plan to ACT Services, Inc. in the amount of $48,000. 7.10, approve the agreement with Naperville Little League Baseball, NLLB, for ball field improvements at Nike Sports Complex. 7.11, approve revisions to the Naperville Park District personnel policies effective January 1st, 2025. 7.12, approve the indoor recreation space needs assessment report. 7.13, appoint Tricia Dubiel as board treasurer effective December 30th, 2024. 7.14, approve resolution 2411, approving third amendment for executive director Brad Wilson's employment agreement. That is all.
Thank you, Monica. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately? Hearing none.
Move to accept consent agenda items 7.1 through 7.14.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Ruffing?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ansier?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Janner?
Yes.
Commissioner Risvold?
Yes.
President Gibson?
Yes.
Move to approve consent agenda items 7.1 through 7.14.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll move on to unfinished business. First, we have ordinance 1065, the 2024 tax levy.
Move to approve the 2024 tax levy ordinance 1065 totaling $26,015,300.
Second.
All right, are there any commissioners who would like to make comment on this item?
Just to piggyback on what it said at the last meeting, obviously as a commissioner, I think all of us have the, we believe in the value of the Park District, and we recognize that the value the Park District brings to our residents, and likewise, I personally have the utmost confidence in our executive director and our staff to manage the Park District in a very efficient manner. However, as I mentioned at the last meeting, credit card debt for families in Naperville is at an all-time high. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck because their wages don't cover their expenses, and the fact remains that significant increase in taxes drive people out of Naperville and out of other communities. So for those reasons, I'll be voting no.
All right, thank you, Commissioner
I
Janner.
think I can
Commissioner
comment too.
Jacks?
I mean, I am concerned about the size of this increase. I think for this year, I think it is what it is. I think going forward, like for 2026, we need to start to look at work that we can delay or put off. If we're going to have another year, I think we're probably going to have a high inflation again this year. It's going to be another expensive year. And we start to plan for 2026, that we have work in parks that is, it's good to do, but it's not necessities. I think we need to start to look at delaying, work to cut down what we're going to spend for 2026 and really think about that for this year in 2025, because I don't think, 6% year after year is not sustainable. I understand we're going to have some bulge. I think we're going to have a very bad year of inflation this year in 2025, so we need it. But beyond that, I think we really need to think about delaying work, capital projects for 2026 and beyond to get this levy down to 2 or 3 or 4% a year. Okay.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Jacks. Anybody else? Vice President Ruffin?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and just kind of reiterate points that I know we've all heard and talked about over these last several weeks and months, but I think it's really important to talk about facts and, stick with the data. So, this increase is very much in line with our 3-year financial plan that was unanimously approved by this board previously. None of us want to raise taxes. It's not like we all set out to do that, of course. But what we do need to do is take care of what we have. We need to listen to our community. And our community just keeps telling us over and over of how much they value us, from our 2022 community survey to this recent city survey, and then our most recent indoor rec needs assessment, which showed a willingness from our community to pay more for more facilities. So when we're seeing our golf rounds at high levels, our beach attendance at high levels, the usage of Fort Hill at all-time high levels, and another participation record-setting year, it's really important for us to be providing to our community for the services and the parks and the facilities and programs that they so clearly appreciate and want. So I am certainly going to be supporting this. This is one of the most important jobs that we up here have, of being good stewards and being of the tax dollars and making smart, fiscally responsible decisions.
All right, thank you, Vice President Ruffin. Would anybody else like, Commissioner Thompson?
Yeah, another point to piggyback off what Commissioner Ruffing said is, as a park district, we have 2 main sources of revenue, and one is our program fees and the other is taxes. And we can't ignore the fact that those are only 2 sources of revenue, whereas the city has multiple sources of revenue. And the school district has multiple sources of revenue, and they take way more out of the pot than the park district does. And for that reason, I definitely will be supporting this, because I do think we need to maintain what we have and give our citizens what they very clearly are asking for in every single survey we've ever sent out. So I will be supporting it as well.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Ancir?
I also will be supporting it. I also wanted to bring attention to, and I believe, Brad, you told us, you can piggyback this if this is correct, that we've seen an increase also in the use of our assistance, right, for financial assistance programs. So those definitely do exist in the Park District. People are learning about it, they're knowing about it, so that way the Park District remains accessible to everybody in the community. And we're going to continue to do that, and anyone who requests it can obtain it, correct? So that is something that the Park District definitely has been doing and increasing doing, and I definitely support that as well.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, let's,
Go ahead.
well, while we're on the topic of finance, I also wanted to echo previous comments. Sue, you and I were freshmen, I think in the same year, but I think the financial stewardship of the district is obviously a partnership between the staff and the board, but there's really one person that has a steady hand on the steering wheel constantly, and that's you. And just wanted to take a quick moment to personally thank you as well.
All right, now we'll let Commissioner Risvold make his comments.
Oh, I was just going to say we have back-to-back years of record participation. This is an investment in the community that has immediate return on investment, and it's a plan and a budget that I think is reflective of what we see in participation levels and we see from community surveys. This is what the people want, and so that's why I'll be supporting it.
All right, are there any more comments before we called? All right, roll call, please.
Vice President Ruffing?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ancir?
Yes?
Commissioner Jacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Janner?
No.
Commissioner Risvold?
Yes.
President Gibson?
Yes. All right, we'll move on to 8.2, Ordinance 1066, Supplemental Property Tax Levy.
Move to authorize a supplemental property tax levy ordinance 1066 to pay the principal of and interest on the outstanding general obligation limited tax refunding park bonds, Series 2020 of the Naperville Park District, DuPage and Will Counties, Illinois, totaling $139,012.
Second.
All right, are there any comments on this item? No? All right, hearing none, we'll do a roll call.
Vice President Ruffing?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ancir?
Yes?
Commissioner Jacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Janner?
Yes.
Commissioner Risvold?
Yes.
President Gibson?
Yes. All right, Ordinance 1067, 2025, Annual Budget and Appropriation.
Move to approve the 2025 Combined Annual Budget and Appropriation Ordinance 1067 in the budgeted amount of $53,219,200 and the appropriated amount of $58,541,119.
Second.
Any questions or any comments on this item? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Vice President Ruffing?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ancir?
Yes?
Commissioner Jacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Janner?
No.
Commissioner Risvold?
Yes.
President Gibson?
Yes. All right, we will move on to new business. Nike Sports Complex site improvement.
Yes, good evening. On August 8th of this year, the Park District executed IDNR Open Space Lands Acquisition and Development, known as OSLAD, Grant Project Application Resolution for Authorization. The OSLAD Grant Resolution of Authorization was needed to submit a grant application for recreational improvements at Nike Sports Complex in the amount of $600,000 of support funding, which we submitted a grant earlier this year. If the Park District is awarded an OSLAD grant for the Nike Sports Complex Site Improvements Project, we're hoping, if not later this month, early next year, staff recommends preparing a contract with Upland Design for professional services needed to proceed with the project and adhere to the grant schedule. As in this case, the Park District has a satisfactory relationship with the professional firm, and it is permitted to negotiate directly with the firm for the terms of the new agreement. Upland Design successfully executed the scope of services associated with the Wolf's Crossing Development Project, Ron Ori Community Garden Plot Site Master Plan, and Nike Sports Complex Site Master Plan projects. A total of $450,000 is identified in the 2025 capital budget to initiate professional services in preparation for construction activities to commence in late 2025 or early 2026 with the intent to reach substantial completion in late 2026. The intent is to present a professional services contract at an upcoming meeting pending award of an OZAG grant for this project. So just an update on this initiative.
I have a question, Director Schutz. So we're going to wait for when OSLAD's decided to ensure that we've got
Yes.
funds. Okay. And do we have any timeline when we expect that to happen?
We heard probably later this month,
Okay.
but with the holidays, it may most likely go into January. Like for instance, last year, it was announced during the IAPD IPRA conference.
Oh.
So we're hoping sometime soon, but you're absolutely correct. But we wanted to inform the board of our next steps, so once it is announced, we'll let you know, and then we'll proceed with putting this on the agenda.
Okay, great. Thank you. Are there
Thank
any
you.
other questions on this? No? All right, thank you. All right, next up is P25 radios.
Good evening. The City of Naperville's land mobile radio, otherwise known as LMR system, currently supports all the city's portable and mobile radio communication for police, including the Park District Police, fire, public works, and public utilities. The communications are critical to daily public safety, general municipal and Park District operations, and the community. The technology used in the current network, Open Sky, is aged and close to being obsolete, which could jeopardize operations and the safety of first responders. Modern-day LMR systems are primarily on a standardized P25 format that is used across the country for public safety networks. Based on the criticality of improving reliability, coverage, and safety, a capital improvement project, CIP, was initiated by the City of Naperville to upgrade the LMR network to the P25 standard. In September of 2023, the city issued RFP 23-150, P25 radio system, to provide an all-inclusive P25 700, 800 megahertz digital simulcast trunked mobile radio system that would include multiple tower sites with equipment shelters, the required site hardware including generators and HVAC to support the proposed infrastructure, as well as mobile radios, dispatch consoles, and all related software. The Naperville City Council subsequently approved the award of RFP 23-150 for an amount not to exceed $32,332,312, plus a 3% contingency of implementation costs. Implementation of the P25 radio system is scheduled to occur in 2025. As a result, radios used by the Park Police Department will need to be updated to the new system as well. The anticipated Park District cost to update the new system is approximately $94,000, utilizing the City of Naperville contract pricing. The purchase will be funded through the proposed 2025 capital budget, and I'll be returning on January 9th to request approval for this purchase at our Park Board meeting.
Great. Any questions? Chief Schindelbeck? No? All right, thank you. And finally, under new business, we have the Microsoft Enterprise Agreement renewal.
Good evening. So every year, the IT department makes an annual payment for our Microsoft Enterprise Agreement. It provides us use rights to a variety of products, server operating systems, Office suite software, cloud services. The current agreement that we are carrying through Dell is for a term of 3 years, which we began in 2022. The new term begins in 2025, so we're going through negotiating and adjusting that agreement. The costs are still being reviewed and finalized based on changed usage over the last 3 years, consolidation that we can execute, as well as assessing different competitive contracts to get the best pricing for the district. We've determined that Dell is still the lowest cost provider because they have access to a variety of contract vehicles, and we expect to bring an actual purchase agreement to the board at a January board meeting.
Great. Thank you. Any questions? No? Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. The next regular meeting of the Park Board of Commissioners will be January 9th, 2025 at 7 p.m. here at Fort Hill Activity Center. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and thank you again to the Eagle Scouts for choosing the Naperville Park District for your work. It's much appreciated. And we have executive session tonight.
Move to adjourn to executive session to discuss land acquisition per Section 2C5 and personnel per Section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Vice President Ruffing,
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes.
Commissioner Ansier,
Yes.
Commissioner Jacks,
Yes.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Risvold,
Yes.
Commissioner, or President Gibson.
Yes.